Greetings, friends, and welcome to DJ in Real Life. This is your boy DJ, and this is my real life on the internet, or what anyone could call a real life on the internet. Today, I want to get into the recent discussion about what makes cinema. This started with director Martin Scorsese claiming that Marvel movies in particular are not cinema, with actor Jennifer Aniston and director Francis Ford Coppola backing him up on that point. There's been some back and forth within the acting community since about what makes cinema. Now, I have my own take on this. I think that Scorsese, and others who think like him, are being elitist, arrogant, and seemingly outright ignorant not just about the history of cinema, but the very definition of it and their own roles in it. Let me start by saying that Scorsese and those who make movies like he does have made some great movies, some which have won major awards. They definitely have a place in cinema, bringing their subjects and drama and ideas to the big screen. And it's okay that they don't like Marvel movies, or DC movies, or Star Wars movies, or franchises, or whatever types of movies they're talking about. That's their prerogative. However, in talking about their disdain, Scorsese and the like are coming off like they're the gatekeepers of what makes cinema, or what I'm guessing they think is a good movie. Air quotes on the good part. They're elevating their own personal taste into some kind of cinematic standard that others should follow on what counts as good and worthy of the general movie-going audience. Quite frankly, that's a bunch of arrogant and elitist bullshit. Plain and simple. Individuals have their own tastes in movies, including Marvel movies, DC movies, Scorsese movies, Coppola movies, Jennifer Aniston-driven rom-coms, dramas, other comedies, yada yada yada. There's no mutual exclusivity here, and that just because someone likes one particular kind of genre, say Marvel movies, doesn't mean they don't have to like any others out there. People are going to like what they're going to like. I get that Scorsese and the like want people to watch their creations. However, to dismiss the creations of others as something unworthy of watching, that's the kind of stuff that tyrants and dictators like to pull, making a certain distinction about something else to devalue or dismiss it in order to elevate their own value. That's something I've seen people like Donald Trump pull a lot, but that's a topic for a different discussion. My main point here is that Scorsese and the like believe they know what's best for other folks' cinematic experience, and they're trying to pull a Marvel is not cinema card in order to inflate their personal value in the eyes of those who they believe know better, air quotes know better, about films than most. Talk about elitism. Anyway, I said earlier about how they ignored the history and the very definition of cinema. Let me start with the definition first. The definition of cinema can be described in the following ways. A motion picture theater, movies especially regarding the film industry, and the art or technique of making motion pictures. That is the very definition of cinema, straight from a dictionary source, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. That definition certainly describes Martin Scorsese movies and Francis Ford Coppola movies, but it also definitively describes the very movies they whined about, Marvel movies. They are motion pictures, made by the film industry, and they are art, with stories originating in comic books. My guess is that they dismiss those particular movies' comic book origins as basic, and that they aren't really art when it comes to cinema. I'd like to believe those directors know that's not really true, but they're doing what they're doing because those movies, the Marvel/franchise type movies, are getting more eyeballs, more box office, more DVD sales, and generation of more discussion than, say, their movies are or will. In other words, the franchise movies are cutting in on their revenue and output, and they're saying that's a threat because it's personally a threat to them in particular, which, quite frankly, it isn't. Which leads me to what cinema really is, a business. Motion pictures are a business, and especially big business these days. Historically, that's what cinema has been, a business model designed to make money. Cinema started taking off in the early 20th century, first with the silent movies, like with Charlie Chaplin, and later with animation from outfits like Disney, and ultimately the talkies. Then came the Laurel and Hardy movies, the Blondie movies, the Three Stooges comedy shorts. In other words, franchises. Then in the 1970s, the blockbusters started up with movies like Star Wars being the first of the blockbuster franchise models, of which we've had many since. Of course, I don't want to leave out the other comedies, dramas, action movies, etc., which helped lay the cinematic foundation we all enjoy today. And don't get me started on the remakes. Those might be overly abundant if I'm going to be diplomatically talking about it, but they also make up a part of cinema today. As much as folks like, again, Scorsese don't want to admit, Marvel movies are simply this new generation of cinema that has taken everything that has come before it and explode that, and explore it even more in various ways, which is showing at the box office. Marvel movies specifically come from Disney, one of the pioneers of cinematic production. They use a franchise model akin to the old Flash Gordon and early Superman serials from the first part of the 20th century. They're blockbusters individually akin to Star Wars, which is now part of the Disney family itself. Marvel movies are a byproduct of all that has come before in the movie business and, as such, are definitively cinema. Given the vast history and definition of cinema, I think people like Scorsese, who make their way in the world through the movie business, will just end up devaluing their own works in the eyes of many folks through the arrogance and elitist tendencies they exhibit in front of the media in criticizing the works of others. Not just Marvel flicks, but other franchise model movies as well. And that is just a damn shame. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Don't forget to subscribe to DJ in Real Life on iTunes, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, the TuneIn app, and the YouTube channel. The show, of course, is on Twitter with the handle @DJ in Real Life. And it also now has a Facebook page, which you can find at facebook.com/DJ in Real Life. That's one word, DJ in Real Life. Until next time, folks, this is your boy DJ saying take care, God bless, and for those of you who have seen Avengers Endgame, who might know what I'm getting at here, this is something I'd like to dedicate to all those cinematic elitists as to what I think of their opinions. We are all Iron Man. Snap. Goodbye, everybody.